Before you start watching the video, please note that this is the first one I've ever replaced, I've ever worked on with the LED replacement. So follow along and see what mistakes that I make and actually be able to do stuff for your own. If you're a TV repairman, this isn't the video for you. I make videos for people that live at home, that can put their TVs on their bed, that can take and put the screen on a piece of cardboard. If this is a video that you're using for your own use to fix your own TV, great. This could potentially, I mean, it's taken me 5 hours to figure out what LEDs and stuff. It's bad. If you're going to use this for future business, if you're a college student, if you're just an average Joe, you can do this. You can actually fix TVs that have a bad backlight. It's not expensive. They have tools that you can use and test this. And later in the video, I'll say that I don't know if they have tools. This is something obviously that I've made after looking up. And this is in the future from those. But they have a tester that you can buy, and it's like 50 bucks, 60 bucks. And to replace all of these LED strips here, it would cost like $70 plus shipping. And I can take in, I know how to solder. You know, I've been soldering for probably close to 19 years. So I can take and just remove. This LED here is bad. I'm just telling you right off the start. It's going to be a very long video. And then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs total that are bad. I just bought a kit for diffuser lens, which is what this thing is, and 12 LEDs, and it cost me like 15 bucks with shipping. I can replace my own LEDs, put this all back together, and if you could potentially fix your own TV, you just saved yourself a brand new TV. You just saved yourself $150, $200 at a TV repair shop can do that you can do for free. Well, you can change out all the LED strips. Cost you probably about $80 or $90 with shipping. That's not bad. That's cheaper than a new TV. You're not paying $500 for TV. You don't have to sit there and wait for somebody to pick this up because it's broken. You can put it on a bed that you're not using, and you can fix it. So, if you're a TV repairman, if you work on electronics, this video is not for you. This is for people that don't know how to work on electronics. That's a home user that a lot of people are, and they're trying to fix stuff cheap. This is for them. So if you leave me a comment that is negative, I'm going to delete it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. This is an LG TV. Model number 47ln5400, and let's see, it's got an LED backlight. Now this TV had been worked on before by another company, and I know they've done some work for the backlight. It again has failed. So I'm going to show you what it's doing. You'll see just a flash of light. And what that is the backlight circuit. And what I'm going to show you how to do is fix that. If you need a bed that's actually clean and not full of like junk right now, so I'm going to have to clean the bed off. Because we're actually going to take this TV completely apart in order to fix this, probably. Unless there's another board in here that I'm going to have to look at. This is going to be at the completely apart. So you're going to need at least a screwdriver. One with Phillips tip. Or star tip for you guys that are technical. Soldering iron. And probably the LED strips. You could probably find them on shopjibbing.com. I'll put that link in the description below for this particular TV set. So I'm going to take all the screws out. It's pretty straightforward. You just take all these little screws out. There's one in here. All the ones around the side. There's one back here. There's these 4 here you have to take off. So take all your screws off, and then you'll be able to lift this back panel. Is what this one's called, the back panel. And then it will go into the main part of the TV. I started on this first, the base, and you lift this up, and you're going to find 2 more screws to take off. I have all my screws removed. There's a screw in here still, but it's loose. But you should be able to just lift up. It may have to pop loose a little bit. Separate the bezel just a hair. Sometimes it can be a little difficult. So you have these little tabs on the side there, like right there. And that's what I'm just lifting up. There shouldn't be any more screws. There, I finally got it broke free. Not much to this TV. It is a very simple in design. As you can see, power supply. Your main board, T-con board, 2 speakers. This is for your remote control, and your panel switches for on and off. And like I said, very basic television. I would figure there would be more than just this. We are going to take this board off next and look at it. I don't think there's anything on here. There's a lot of flux there, but I don't know why. I just like to make sure all my connections are tight. Sometimes you can have problems with that. I'm gonna take, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws here, and I'm going to take off. And then I'm going to look for what's called cold solder joints on this to make sure there's no cold solder joints. And then next is I'm going to, if I can tell it's not the circuit board, I'm going to look at taking the rest of this apart. Now, if you're going to take the rest of this apart, if it's not the circuit board, it's going to be a nice little thing for you to try, because you're going to have to take everything off. The speakers, the switch over here, your T-con, and this guy down here, and you know, you're going to take it completely apart. And then this is going to be involved, so it's going to be a long video, probably an hour-long video, if it's not that. It's taking the front bezel off, and then you have your screws on the side that we're going to be taking off as well. And this is pretty difficult to some people, but I'm going to try to help you out with this video and make it as simple as possible to do and save you some money in doing it at the same time. So let me take this apart, see if it's this. If it's not this, then we're taking this whole TV apart, and then we're going to look at the LEDs and see which one that it could be. So hang tight. Okay, so there's this one diode here. I'm gonna keep it on this little stand here if I can. There's this little one diode here. You can see it's kind of cocked to the side a little bit, and I just want to make sure this one right here. I just want to make sure you can see and look at that leg and make sure it's not broken. Pressing down did nothing, so that's good. That's what I wanted to see. Because it's kind of shady. Suscon capacitors. That's lovely, seeing that they're still using crappy capacitors. That's what I want from LG, you know. Years and years and years and years of capacitor being problems. We're going to keep using crappy capacitors. Look at that brand, that's a good one. Terrible. NFK, I don't know what brand that is, but anyway. We're going to look at the circuit board. Have to look for any telltale signs of bad solder joints. I know everything nowadays is lead free. And everything looks okay. There's one I'm kind of giving it a second glance. And it's this guy right here, which would be your positive. Let me show you what I'm talking about, if I can focus. Okay, see at the top there. I don't do anything with tripod because everything with tripod makes it harder for me to work with. But at the top of this solder joint here, you want to see like a half circle. You see that? On the left side of it. That's the form of a bad solder joint. That's the making of one. And I'm talking about this one right here. That's the start of a bad solder joint. I call that cold solder joints in electronics. I always solder those and see what happened. I'm also going to look at the logic side and see what it says for the LED. They have, you can read there. I'm also doing this for myself. So in the future, when many of you guys are on here asking me questions about stuff that I don't remember because I don't own this TV set, so I'm not going to come back to it. This is what the chart for this connector is. So I got 12 volt ground, 24 ground, 3.5, power on, drive on, PD1M, PD1M2. I'm guessing that's for your LEDs. I would have to actually Google that and see. But I'm guessing that's for your LEDs. It's coming over here to the drive circuit. So yeah, that's your drive and the PD1M1 is for that. So there's two test circuits there. I'm guessing this just shows you the model of this board is. It's LG P4750-13 PL2. And they have two test points, EL67, EL68. And that touches the diode side. Not sure. The negative on one side. And let's see, that's probably your positive. It looks like it's both negatives. How would they do that? So what I'm going to do now is actually test the voltage. I put two screws back into the power supply, and I'm going to power the circuit board up. And then I'm going to, should have this on DC, which I have it on DC. And I have the plug for the LED, it is unplugged. I'm just making sure I don't cause any sparks. So we are live, and now we're going to test the circuit here. And I'm going to go on the positive and negative of the LED strip output on that connector. Right now it's showing me 1.1 volts, which is nothing really. Residue voltage. And let's turn her on. We're powered. And I get nothing. Which, I don't know if I should get anything or not. Unless I had a path and ground. Still get nothing for the output. Strange. Now I have my 110 unplugged, and I'm going to plug this back in. See if we get any sparks. I don't think we will. But it would be interesting. Use a screwdriver, stick it back in. Alright. Now let's see if I can get voltage again. Okay. Plugged the TV in and it just flashed. So I'm going to turn it off. Maybe I did that wrong. Alright, so let's go from here to here. I know you can't see the voltmeter now. Just jumped up to 33 volts and it went down to nothing. And I'm going to go over here to this side and do the same. And it went to zero. It it did not have any voltage at all. So put my ohm meter on, and let's do some ohm readings, shall we? I'm showing an open there, and then this side I'm showing an open as well. So I would think you would actually measure something shorted if you had something wrong with it. I mean, could be wrong. Could just be an open, like the diode opened up, so that makes sense. With this connector removed, I was reading 28 volts, and it spiked up to 20, sometimes 36 volts on the connector on the one side, and about 18 on the one on the right side with the DC voltmeter. And it's kind of hard to tell when it's on and when it's off. When the red light on the TV is on, that means the set is off. So when it's off, that's when you'll notice the voltage will jump up. I'm going to resolder this connector here, and then I'm going to see if that takes care of the issue. Now note, I've said that this set had been worked on prior. They've actually, I believe, they've actually opened the set up and replaced a strip or two of the LEDs. That's what I've been told. I'm not sure the extent of what they've fixed and what they haven't fixed until, if I can get that to make it work, great. If I can't, then I'm going to take this whole TV set apart like I said earlier in the video, and then look and see what needs to be changed. Alright, and now I'm looking at the solder points for those LED connection, and I'm going to be using my soldering iron. It's called the ISO tip Solder Pro 190. I'll show you after I get this done soldering what it looks like. It's butane powered, and I absolutely love it. I am not sponsored by them for this video, but I'm just telling you tools that I use in order to fix this. Any regular soldering iron would work. I'm waiting for this to heat up just a little bit so I can actually melt the flux. Pretty sure this solder I'm using is not lead free. Although I could be wrong. I might need to clean the tip. There, I got it to flow there. I don't like that solder joint, but I'll go back over it in just a second. If you were a true electronics technician, you'd have solder wick. I am a true electronic technician, but I'm just doing this for the sake of showing you how to repair your TV at home. I don't expect you to have all the tools of the trade in order to fix your television set. Okay, so those are soldered. I'm not exactly happy with them, but they're better than what they were before. I'm also going to go over those capacitors too while I'm at it, because they also have the starts of what I call cold solder joints, or what is known as cold solder joints. Let's see if I can give you an example. Right here you can see the little crack around there. That's what you need to look for. I don't know if I can zoom in further enough or not. But that crack around the surface there is exactly what you need to look for. And that's what's called a cold solder joint. It's the beginning of one. So I'm going to resolder those capacitors. They are part of the backlight circuit, so can they affect it? Yeah. Might be running low on my butane, but we'll make do. Come on. I've been melting plastic with this soldering tip, so it's not the cleanest and it's not really conducting heat to melt the solder the greatest right now. And I melted the plastic in the previous video of the lottery ticket thing, which just turned out pretty neat. If you don't know what I'm talking about and are not a subscriber, subscribe. I have all kinds of neat little stuff that I put out time to time. This guy here doesn't really affect much of it, but it can. It's a coil. It's probably a filter coil. I should have changed the tip on this because it's extremely, it's a very fat tip for soldering this kind of stuff. And I know you can't see what I'm at, so I'm not looking at the camera. Alright, so I'm kind of happy with that. It's better than nothing. And it'd be hilarious if that's what's all that's wrong with it. Maybe not for you, since you probably have a backlight circuit problem. And we may still have a backlight circuit problem. We will find out, won't we? I'm going to connect everything back in so you can see. Let's screw in 2 screws. Maybe I'll get lucky and that fixed my problem. Maybe you'll get lucky and that fixed your problem. It's highly unlikely though. And probably will have to take the whole set apart. It's going to be fun times. Let's see. Where's my power cord? There's cord. Okay, should we turn it on? Scary, you know, if it didn't actually flash. There, we had the flash. And nothing did anything. Although it could have been shorting something out over there. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to have to take this set apart. I'll show you how to do that. I'm waiting for this light to die. I want to make sure that it's completely dead. Very hard to do with two hands. Yep, we're still dead. Okay, so we're going to take it apart. That's going to be the next step, is disconnecting all the wires. I would just leave all your little connections here the same if you wanted. They're not taped down. So you can just take your 4 screws here off. It looks like that comes off too with this. So 4 screws. Take your 2 screws here. There's probably another screw underneath there. I'm not exactly sure. Take the 2 screws off of your speaker. 2 screws for your power button. And lift this whole thing up as one wire assembly. So you don't have to worry about connecting each one back and where one went the other. I mean, it's pretty stupid. Simple, because they're not the same connectors anywhere. So we're going to take all that apart. In the next part of the clip, we're going to show you taking the black bezel piece off. And then we're going to take these little screws off here on the side of the TV off. And then show you the process of getting to the LED circuit. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but I guess we will. I have all the screws removed except for the T-con board, and I have not removed the circuit board down here because I wanted to show you special attention to this. I do not want people to comment that they broke the circuit board because I showed them, I did not show them how to do something. This is going to be a little bit flexible, so you're going to have room to come in there. And you just want to pinch that top little connector right there, a little tab. And you can just leave that circuit board alone. This guy right here, there's 2 screws, and I have a very small screwdriver that I bought from Walmart that I can take the screws out. You might be best to just disconnect this. Squeeze both sides and pull straight out, and don't do what I just did. And because there's a lot of connections in there. Don't know if you can see it, but it's all being hand soldered or machine soldered. I'm not sure which. I would not want to be the guy that actually does that. And what I do is I save all my screws in baggies. That way they never get lost. And you have all the screws left from the project. I hate being screw short, and I hate being screw too many. Okay, so I also kind of wanted to look and see here if there's anything that might be a sign of anything, which usually if you have light, that's great. But there's sometimes can be a fuse right there. I'm going to measure this too before I disconnect everything. Make sure that fuse is good. I've actually had that be bad before. And this just took this thing here colors controls all your colors and stuff. So I'm gonna check that fuse and make sure that's not bad. I just have this on the continuity of the ohmmeter, so it makes a beeping noise. That's going to be a one straight line or a straight copper piece essentially, so it should show up as a short, and it does. I just want to do this next. Alright, just to make sure that I had good connection with the fuse. When I first put that on, I didn't have good connection. I'm going from one pad to the other. I have good connection. There's not a whole lot of solder on that, but it's the way they do things. So the rest of the TV is next to be replaced. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Ripping, literally from flipping the TV over. That's it. Because you want to make sure that you protect your screen at all costs. You don't want to break the screen. You can't replace the screen. You can't fix the screen. Don't ask me. If it's broken, it's broken. Sell the boards on eBay. That's your only fix there. If you have what I'm doing right now, great. You break the screen, it's junk. Don't ask me how to fix it. It's not fixable. I don't know how many comments I've had that in the past. I'm telling you now. On the black frame, I'm just gently pulling up on the bottom up and getting to those tabs to unclick them. The center here is loose, so I'm hoping I can get around the edges as well. And I'm showing you in real time how struggle it's going to be for you. You want to use the butter knife? Use a butter knife. Just don't break the plastic frame, because you're probably not going to find a frame online either. So, you got one chance of not mucking this up. And I'm going to try to show you as best as possible of doing so. I'm not mucking it up. And this is the history of television sets, especially LCD screens and plasma. They were the long time frame that they had a lot of bad capacitors in them. So if you've watched my videos in the past, you'll know that there's a lot of television sets out there that you can easily fix and you can easily make the money off of. This one I'm doing for a friend. I'm not doing TV repairs anymore. I'm doing it for him. I'm also doing it for you. So if you can benefit from it, and you start yourself a little side business, make the money, great. That's what I'm here to show you. It's a little difficult getting all these little plastic pegs not caught. There. Now we got her. Get that up, and the back side should be pretty simple. Yep, that's that. Pretty flimsy plastic, don't break it. Otherwise you'll have to duct tape her back together. You don't want to do that. Literally all I'm going to be doing next is flipping it back over. Again, don't damage the screen. If you damage the screen, you're going to be in worse shape than you were before. Trust me. You know. So, this is why I say I work on a bed. A bed is the softest thing that a homeowner like you watching this video can use to fix their television set. A regular Phillips screwdriver will fit this. And all I'm doing is removing the screws on the metal frame. Now, there is a circuit board where these little ribbon cables are attached. You want to make sure you do not do any damage to those, because they go towards the TV as well. I may not be able to do what I'm hoping. Of course not. They made it so they have multiple pieces for the metal, so each section comes off independently, which is fine. Instead of one solid frame, I can just move the display. I now have to change my plan, because that thing is very fragile, and this TV could be very expensive or cheap. Depends on how you look at it. Interesting. Screws only had threads on them so far, and then it's just blank. It's the first I've ever seen those kind before. I'm going to put this in my baggie of rubber screws. So, here's the boards you don't want to mess up with. You don't want to hurt, you don't want to break, because that's going to cause you all kinds of problems. And this is also the area where they always have problems with soda. Like kids or water, or when you're spraying Windex. Because you only have the frame on the bottom so close, and when water collects on the top of the screen, even though they have like this gasket, it's not really a real good gasket. It's more or less just one of them, it's a double-sided tape, but it has some type of foam on there for protecting on the glass itself, the LCD display or LED display. But they don't have it in gaskets, so it would seal any type of seal the fluids from getting to the circuit board, which would damage your set. So this is the area if you have like corrosions and stuff. Your number one culprit in television sets when women or men or kids spray the liquid and it goes down to the bottom and traps. If they were smart, they would put this on the top of it. Gravity. Fluid goes with gravity. So when your water goes down your screen, it collects at the bottom where the circuit board is for the panel itself. If you have the circuit board at the top, you're not going to damage those. So why the TV manufacturers don't just put that up there and then flip the image via their software? I don't know. They're stupid. I would almost say tape these guys to their plastic frame over here, because that's going to be a real pain. Good Lord. It's already bowling, which I didn't want. So I'm not sure if there's a good way or a bad way of doing this. So guess I'm just going to wing it. I really don't want that to be sagging in the middle. Let's do this. Let's flip it back over. Take the frame off from the top. Hopefully you're watching this video and then working on your TV set and not working on this video, working while I'm doing this video on your TV set, because you possibly could do some damage. I'm going to take the frame around the edge and I'm going to carefully remove the display, and actually I'm going to find an area to hold it flat before doing that, because you damage the screen. You might as well take your little circuit boards, put them up on eBay, because you're not going to have somebody fix it. It's not fixable. I'm only reiterating that because I see a lot of people on Facebook commenting that, oh, this TV had the broken screen. All you have to do is just replace the screen. The screen only costs $40 or $50 online. If that was the case, you would never have any broken TV. Everybody would be able to fix their own TV set. And it's not the case. You can't. You can buy screens online, but very seldom you'll find one on eBay. Shipping on those is extremely it's not really cost effective. Let's see, where am I? Again, if you're a TV repairman, don't watch this video. It's not for you. You already know how to fix your TV. Don't comment on this video. If you know how to do it, make a better video. I really don't care here. Unless you're constructively telling me something I can do better. If you're just going to tell me and be rude about it, click on to the next video, because this one's not for you. Just a guy that has a degree. He wants to show people how to fix things. 15 years of experience too, so don't yank my chain. Don't tell me I'm an idiot. I'm helping people save money and save time. I'm not sure exactly what's going on that side yet. I'm going to take these screws off here on the side, and we're going to go from there. There's 3 on the sides, and I think there's 6 on the bottom and top total each. All my screws out. Like I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm doing it for a friend. So, obviously don't ask me to fix yours because I live in Illinois and probably nowhere near you. I don't know why that's so hard to take off at the top. It's strange. Being difficult. Same way with the sides. This is a little loose. This is fine. It's good. Oh, they had that tape like it did the other side does, so it might have a little tackiness to it. You just don't want to pry this way. You don't want to break your screen. That's what I'm trying to prevent. I also want to make sure I slid this down. The other one had a lock or something. It seemed like. Sure to seal the side, but you can't seal the bottom. Makes a lot of sense. Right? frame is off. If you got this far, what you need to do is find an area where this is going to be nice and flat. I would even almost suggest getting one of them foam boards for installation, putting it on the front of this screen, flipping it over, sliding it somewhere, lifting the back chassis up while the screen is flat on it, so you don't have to pick this up and move it anywhere where it might just snap in half. It's really fragile. I can't stress that enough. So I'm going to go find something I can put on this. I know I said foam board. You can also use cardboard. So that's what I'm doing. There's a stink bug over there. Anyway, cardboard. I want to make sure the cardboard is nice and flat before we do the next little pizza flipperoo. That's what I'm going to call it, the flipperoo. Technical terms here at the headquarters of repairing television sets. You don't want to press too hard on the top. You just want to make sure it's supported and you're not going to drop it. It's going to be a two-person job, by all means, because you don't want to break the screen. And I'm hoping I didn't just break the screen. So, remember I said you needed an area to clear for the screen? Well, I'm going to do that higher. I'm an idiot. Okay, so, theoretically, if I'm correct, this should just lift straight up. And the screen is on the cardboard. And hopefully, if you've done this, you won't have any broken screen. So we're going to, as you can tell, this screen is very thin and fragile. I want to make sure it's completely flat and supported. As we don't want any stress on her. There's going to be some stress, but for now, that's what I have to use. I wish I hadn't bought another piece of cardboard. Let me rearrange. Now I have this screen in a nice, perfect little flat area, so I don't have any damage. It's time to, yet again, take more plastic off. This is the plastic frame for holding the screen down and the diffuser. There's a diffuser lens in there. So there's those little plastic tabs in the bottom here, and you're going to pry them up. And it's going to be really, really fun. I think it's just a matter of getting in between the plastic and the metal frame here. If you have a small pry bar, butter knife, flat tip screwdriver, that'll work. And I'm lifting up from the bottom, forcing it away from the metal as I'm popping it loose. You also, when you get this far, you do not want to make sure you don't want to mix up the diffuser. There might be another sheet behind it, so you want to get that in the right sequence. So if they're one's ahead of the other, you want to make sure they stay that way. I told you it's going to be a very long video, and it is. So you kind of get an understanding when somebody charges you, well, you might seem an outrageous amount. This is what they have to go through. This is actually the first time I've actually gone this far with the TV set. Because I've taken the frame, the LCD out, and I've looked at the bulbs before. Not a LED one, but it was a fluorescent TV set. And I vowed never to do that again. That was a pain in the rear and very boring for people to watch. So, just like the other frame, this is how I'm doing it with this. Hopefully. We'll find out, won't we? Yeah, we will. It's kind of amazing that this has already been worked on once and it went out again, so I'm not sure exactly what the TV company did and didn't do. As I see no signs on the circuit board and the power supply, any soldering was done. The only thing I've ever noticed was that the screw on the screws, there's more than one on the outside, was still loose. Okay, I want to be gentle with this frame. It's very thin as well. I'm going to bring you over here so you can see exactly what I'm doing next. We might actually flip this back over to the sit and rest in that frame I just took off. So all you have to do is put it back on the same way. So let's see, maybe it won't be too bad. I really don't want to rip anything. Okay. Let's see. This is what I'm talking about. They have little tabs here, and there's multiple sheets. I don't know how many sheets are in here. It's like there's 4. So 3 of them. The 4th one you're going to have to get underneath it to get to the LEDs, to the bottom of it anyway. So you can probably take this up, as long as you don't break it. Set it off to the side and get to the other part, which I'm going to set that off to the side, and then I'll get to this. What you see right here is all the little LEDs. What's this little plastic thing here is to hold that plastic stuff up. That's something I didn't realize we had to take and kind of remove on the back side. So you're going to have to take and press these in and push them forward to get them out of the way. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's get that taken care of, and then we'll get to these little guys. Hopefully we can find something wrong with them. Always something that you will miss in doing this. Considering this is my first LED TV set that I've worked on. It's looking kind of promising. I do have a power supply that I might be able to test the LED strip with. We'll find out here in a second. I'm just pushing these in with a small screwdriver. I should be able to pop back in when I'm done. Now, some people would say, well, we can't see what you're doing. There's nothing here that you can't do on your own. You're just pressing them in. If you break them, I can't help you. I don't have replacement parts. This is what it is. They all come out. There's your 5. And here is the video. Let's take a look at that. Look at all them pretty LEDs, right? Okay, so we have all these little LEDs, and we're going to figure out how we're going to test them. They have a circuit board here. What they probably have online is the way that you can test this circuit board individually, like with a real tester, instead of the way I'm going to do it. Let's look and see what the part number of these are. I haven't taken apart. Steady there. I'm guessing the 6916L-1174A or R1 type. That's the model number you want. I'm guessing. I have no idea. It's the first LED TV I've looked at. So I'm actually going to hook up 36 volts to this set and see what happens. And there's this little circuit board here. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how they get that. They have a tool. This is like a little tool that they have online. ShopJimmy.com has a hot plate. And you stick this LED strip on, and it'll heat up the bottom. You pull it off, and then you put the other one back on. So if you were looking to this video to just replace an LED, it's not going to happen. You can replace an LED strip. That's about it. What I was hoping to do is be able to locate what LED itself was bad. Instead of a strip, I can actually replace the LED instead of the strip. But we can do some things. We can actually put some voltages in each strip and test. So let's get that going first. What I've done now is I've taken the screws out here. Every arrow there to the screw. And I've removed the circuit board for the connection for that. And I am going to look on connection here, which you can't see. What I've done now is to remove this circuit board here. So every arrow there is a screw hole. And what I want to look at now is the solder joint on this connector. And make sure everything is good with him. You may not be able to see it, but I'm looking for it for myself. That looks fine. Just a simple circuit board. It's got traces, and that's it. It's meant to just put power to all these wonderful bright LEDs, and that's all it's for. Now, there might be, and I'm guessing this is a set, R1, R2, R2, R1, R2, R1. So there's a set. So you got right and you got left. So there's L1 and L2 over here. And I guess they disconnect right there. That's interesting. I'm guessing that they pry up. I have never done this before. Let me be the first one to tell you that. Again, in the first of the video, I told you that, and now I'm telling you that now. Again, it's a reminder. I have never done this before. So, what I'm going to do is start out at 12 volts, maybe even less, and I'm going to use my power supply and go on positive, negative, and see if it lights up, and I'm going to go all the way on each strip until I find one that doesn't work. And if it doesn't work on 12 volt, I'm going to turn the power up enough that it actually will light up the LEDs. And that's the way I'm going to test them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 sets of strips of LEDs for these. So if you got this far, you might as well just rip them all out if you're trying to save money. But I'm trying to diagnose and see exactly what failed what circuit board. If I only can buy just 2 circuit boards, great. I only have to buy just 2 circuit boards, 2 strips. If I have to buy all 8, that's, you know, it's whatever. I'll do what I have to do. So, let me hook up the power cord to my strip. Makes me wonder. I like looking at solder joints and making sure that they actually have good solder on them, because that could be a culprit. I don't see anything obvious that's just like really blown or anything like that, but I can ohm it out and see what they read and tell you. Let's do that first. Let's ohm it out, see what they read, and if I have a power strip that reads higher or less than any of the other, then we can focus on that one. Let's do that first. Alright, I have my ohm meter set to 20k ohms. I don't know if it's going to be good enough or not. Trying to put this so you can actually see the reading. You see it? Too much glare. Let's see if we can pop something underneath. You can see the actual reading. How that? No. That's better. And that way I can look at it while you're looking at it. First LED strip, positive and negative to the copper one. I'm not reading anything. This is the second one. I don't know if I'm supposed to read any resistance or what you would expect. Okay, so let's change it to diode continuity. I don't have any reading through the diode. Nothing there. Really shocked. I figured it wouldn't read something. Different. Okay, maybe that tab doesn't go anywhere. Let's go to positive, positive. Okay, I'm connected still. Negative to negative. Negative, negative, good. Positive to positive. I'm not. Positive to positive is open. Ground good. Positive to positive. Open. That's good. Seems like the negative is connected on each end. That's what I would expect. I would expect positive as well. That is odd. Why they would be separated. Okay. Not sure what to do now. Let's see about going negative to negative tad here. Okay, so I can go touch on those pads. I'll show you what I mean. These pads here. I actually was going to the back of the connector to connector, but I also just went from pad to pad to make sure I had continuity. And I do on my negative side, but my positive side I don't. So I'm just going to go put my voltage here, then down the line there with my power supply that I have, and we'll see if it lights up. I'm going to start out with 12 volts and see where that goes. See where that gets me. This is a very simple, I think it goes up to 28 volts power supply. I'm going to go with 12 volts. We'll see what happens. Nothing happened. Not even drawing juice with that one. I'm trying to figure out a better way of doing this. Guess I'm going to continue down the line. I know I'm going to get scared because it's going to be bright. You'll see me jump. F1 works. Nothing. I really don't know what voltage these are supposed to be at. They don't have anything. Neither does that. And I know they worked. Some of them. Well done. Unless they don't have any output. Unless that a higher voltage other than 12 volts. I mean, I know I said it was running off at 36. Maybe we need to bump it up. I got my 12 volts. Let's see about it's increasing the voltage. I can go 30 volts. Let's go to 28 volts. Then I'm going to find a way to connect to these and not have to worry about touching them, because I'm sure the sparks are going to fly. I need to find I have a one tester that might be able to fit in that. I have this set up so I have this bottom board raised up so I can put in, I got it set at 20 volts to power this whole strip up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're 3.3 volts. That would be 18 volts. If they were 3 volts each. So let me put it down to 18. And see what happens. Nothing. Does not conduct current. Huh. That is strange. Let's crank her up to 25 volt. See what happens. I see light. Ooh, there's a magic number right there, 25 volt. So let's go to 28 volts. That makes it brighter, right? So 28 volts. I got one bad LED right there, I can tell. Sweet. So I'm going to mark that one being bad. So now I have a system that I can go boom, 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 boom. I'm sure they have something that's out there that has a tester. But right now, this is all I got. I'm going to go through each board. So 28 volts. We know that. Right here is bad. And this strip here is bad. It's amazing. I can't fathom that all of these LEDs here are bad. I powered this here and this lit up and none of these did. That's amazing. Cool. We're getting somewhere, guys. Thank you for keeping along. Might just be easier for you to just replace them all. If you would like. Once you get your strips replaced, if you're replacing all your strips, if you wanted to send them to me to test them, I can test them for you. Really cheap, not hard. Obviously, I have the equipment to. And then I can send them back to you. And then you should be able to sell these online on eBay for X amount of dollars. Just look what the ongoing price is. So, it should be pretty cool. I am going to just simply lift this up. And that's how the LED strips are removed, just like that. That is so neat. It's all Chinese, guys. Nothing wrong with it, but still. Anyway, that strip and this one here, L2. It's a shame, because it's just one LED. These two guys is the result of this TV not working. I'm going to get this ordered in a week. They'll come back. We'll come back to this. We'll put these strips in. I'll show you the cost of what that cost is. We'll put him back in. Hopefully he didn't break. And we'll power it up. So we've confirmed at least that we had 2 bad strips. since I'm only replacing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs, I can buy 12 of them for $10 versus 70 or even more than that for their shipping. I'm gonna buy these single LEDs and I'm gonna replace them myself. I'm actually considering seeing what entails in that right now. If it's just about a solder joint, I'm gonna resolder them, see what happens. You might think that's a lot of work to get into. You may just go ahead and replace them all. But since I love working on electronics so much, I am just going to do that and actually see if there's any solder I need to replace. I figured there would be a little more than that. It's just like that's all it is. It's just some glue. Let's see if I can put that back down. If it's just as simple as that. No. You may have to re-glue them. Who knows? They have a kit for them. I can see a very fine, thin crack on the top of the LED, so I know that LED is very bad. So I know for a fact that's going to be broken. So I'm going to buy my 12 LEDs. I'm going to get the soldering station. I have a hot air soldering station. Or a heat gun. Pair of tweezers. I'm going to get that ordered. And we will be talking very soon in the next clip. It's going to take about a week. Now, if you're just replacing these strips, you have to make sure that you line them all up how you took them off. They are also labeled. How that one is 69L. That's 6916L, and then it's 11743A, and then that one's 1175A. So you have to make sure each strip that you replace matches up to one that you have from the Shop Jimmy's website. What I'm going to show you is actually replacing the LED. With the other one, you can see that one was cracked on this one. And this whole strip here was not lighting up at all, so I took the little focus lens, what they called it, off, and then I noticed this guy right here. If it'll focus, it's actually burnt. That LED actually got hot enough that it melted. So I'm going to actually take this off and then power the rest of it up. So if this is acting like a short, then it's going to kill all the voltage for that. So I'm going to use my butane heater soldering iron, the one I've been showing people. This thing's pretty nice. It's just got a soldering tip on the one end that I can use. I can heat that up. Let's take that off and see. But the kit I actually got was for 12 LEDs, which I'm only going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly just 2. But once I get that taken off, I may have to replace the rest of those. But we'll see after that. So I may only use just 2 LEDs, and it costs me $10 to fix this whole TV. It's pretty amazing if you think about it. You're saving yourself so much money by fixing it yourself instead of taking it to somebody to do and charging you so much money. So that is what I would expect a bad LED to look like. Probably that's the one that caused this whole set not to work and not that LED not coming on, because that strip lit up. That one didn't. Now I'm guessing the way that this stuff works is that they probably have like a current source and it draws so much current, then it goes, nope, not happening, and it just kills the circuit. That's what I'm guessing is happening. I mean, we can honestly look. This chip right here. Part number is BD94-83F405. And I'm guessing that is going to be like the main guy that sources the current and all that. And I see this current's too high, shuts it down. Does it cause any more damage to the power supply or the LED strips themselves? Smart in design. So when the LEDs comes in, I'll change this out, then see if the rest of those light up. If they don't, then I'm going to change the rest of these. For you that are just changing your strips out completely, from here on out, it's pretty much you're just going to watch me change these LEDs out, and then I'm going to put them back in. I'm going to plug in the power board, and I'll probably plug in, that's probably left everything over there plugged in. I'm going to plug in the main board and see if just the LED lights come on and stay on. We don't have to have the T-con board plugged into the screen at all for that to test out and work. So we will know whether all this works before putting everything back in it and reassembling. Okay, looking at this some more, I kind of understand. I should have already understood. This is in a series circuit. And I mean, I don't know why I didn't understand that. Why I didn't have positive all the way down there. That would make it a parallel circuit. You're trying to power all of these with this one voltage, and they're 3.3 volts each, so you add them all up to make sure you have the right voltage. So positive goes to one side of the diode, and from that side of the diode, it goes to the next side of the diode, and so forth. So, going from this to this, going to this to this, and then from this pad to here, I have my positive. So I should have my full length. I tried heating that LED up, and I could not get it off the board with, I mean, this is Hextol. I mean, it's fire. So, I'm going to test this circuit board next and make sure that it works. Now, I got the LED kit from shopjimmy.com. There's the lens. It was only $10, like 15 with shipping. That's not bad. I have a hot air station I'm going to be using today to try to take the one off that's completely fried. They have other, you can buy these unit from them. It's like $25-30, and it heats it from the bottom, where I can do it from the top. It's just the same as anything else. I'm going to add more solder to this because it's really not going to be good. I'm going to test this after I put this one LED and see if the rest of them work. If they don't, then I'll change the rest of these as well. want solder on there, but we don't want a whole lot of it, or it's going to cause issues. And putting the new LED is going to be pretty simple. The pads should just line right up. I'm going to have a fatter pad on one side and skinnier on the other. So the top side is the fatter side, and skinnier just on this side. And what I'm going to do is heat the bottom up, solder on the pads first, and then drop the LEDs on top of it. Less chance of the LED melting or having problems. Heat this up just a little bit more. Okay, maybe I should have just left it alone. Now I'm going to do the second one here. I might as well kill whatever this stuff is. Not sure what it's exactly used for. It's kind of pointless to my boat. I'm going to let this cool down, and I'm going to test this strip, and then I'm going to test this other strip up here that I changed to 1. And if that didn't fix it, I'm going to change the rest of these LEDs on that other strip. Now all the LEDs work on this strip. Had to go through and change all the rest of these LEDs. And they all light up now. So the only thing next to do is scrape the lower black potty mix off and super glue the lenses onto that. Next is super gluing the lenses back down onto where they were before. And what you're going to need is get a gel kind. You don't necessarily have to get this brand, but I just got it because it was available. And you're going to put 3 dots, and then you just stick this back, and you let it dry. I'm going to do that with all of these. I'm going to let these dry, and once these get dry, I'm going to put that back into these, reassemble all this, put this back together, put that in front of that, power it up, and show that it works. He fixed. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Leave me a comment. I'll see you next time.